Hello, my name is Kayla Adams, and I am in session today in family therapy. I will be using structural family therapy for the family I'm working with, which is made up of Sean and Cassie. Sean and Cassie are here because they're having difficulties with their family, and I would like to help them. So, Sean, can you tell me a little bit about why you felt you needed to come in today?
Cassie's just been acting out a lot. She's been skipping class. She's been out past curfew. She doesn't listen to me. She's not doing her chores.
Okay.
She's just being very difficult lately. I don't know what to do.
Really? It's been frustrating for you?
What's that?
Yeah. How are things at school for her?
I'm getting calls every day from her teacher saying that she wasn't in class. She wasn't in this period, that period, so she's constantly skipping. Her grades have slipped tremendously. I don't know if it's new friends she's hanging out with, but it's just very hard.
This is hard for you. Yes. And Cassie, for you, how do you feel about what your dad is saying?
I mean, most of it's true, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to do to change. I don't know.
Do you have an idea as to like why are you skipping classes? Why are you missing curfew?
I'm hanging out with friends, and they just take my mind off other stuff that's going on in life. After my other dad died, it's just been hard. Yeah, it's been hard.
Okay. And Sean, are you feeling like this is probably the biggest factor in terms of how Cassie is acting?
Probably. It was hard. It's been hard the last 6 months. But she never talks to me about it. I ask her and she just doesn't want to talk about it.
It's hard. He's never home to talk about.
Okay, so is that frustrating for you?
It is, and when he comes home, he's angry at me and he wants to be upset because of what he heard at school, so we don't really get to talk.
Okay. So Sean, for you, why do you feel like you're not able to be at home as much? What's going on for you there?
Because before I was home a lot more, but then when my husband passed, I had to take on a second job. So now I'm constantly working to keep up on bills, keep her head above water, and make sure she can get a good education.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to come home and understand. It's hard for her to talk to me. I would understand that now that I'm hearing it from her. But it's hard to do that when she's skipping class all the time.
So what I'm hearing here is, your husband, your father has passed away, which has really kind of adjusted how things work in your house, in your life. You're having to work later hours, and so that stress is really wearing on you. And at the same time, Cassie, you're feeling like you don't really know how to handle the death of your father?
That's it.
Yeah?
That's really it.
Yeah.
I just don't know what to do, so I'm just kind of going with the flow. I just don't care about things like I used to.
So, for you, how do you feel your dad could play a part in making you feel a little better? Do you think there's something there?
Maybe we can spend time on the weekends and talk more and do things there. I don't know.
And Sean, what do you think in terms of what Cassie has responsibility to you to do?
I agree with her on what she just said. That's something I feel like we can both benefit from, but I feel like she needs to also keep her mind on straight, her head on straight, her mind right. Stay in school. She needs to do her chores and still do what she used to do. I know it's hard, but you can't use that as an excuse to kind of sway off the path of what you know better of. Your dad raised you better than that. I raised you better than that.
Yeah. So what I want to do right now is kind of a role play exercise. What this exercise is going to do is it's going to really give you an opportunity to see how the other views interactions between the two of you. Okay? So let's start with Cassie.
Mm-hmm.
Cassie, what I want to do with you is you're going to talk to me the way you feel your father talks to you. So we're going to have a conversation, and I'm you, and I want you to reflect back what you feel your dad does whenever he comes home maybe frustrated with you or something like that. How does that sound?
Okay.
Does that work?
Good. Yeah.
Okay, and then Sean, I just want you to really pay attention, in terms of what you're seeing, how she's feeling about how she perceives how you're acting. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm you, Cassie. Okay.
Okay.
And I'm coming home late, right? And after curfew, what would your dad say to you if it was after curfew?
He would probably tell me, again, Cassie, we gotta stop doing this. This isn't
I want you to
gonna
say
work.
it just like he would say it to you.
Okay.
Is he yelling at you? Is he raising his voice?
It's
What
more
are the words
stern.
he's
It's more
using?
like, God damn it, Cassie. This again. You're late again. We can't do this. You're slacking on your homework. I'm sick of getting calls from school. When are you gonna change? What do we gotta do to fix this? You gotta get your head on straight.
Okay.
You gotta do better. You gotta try better.
Okay. So what if I said, as you, Cassie, Dad, I just don't care. I don't care anymore. What would then your dad say to you?
That I need to start caring. I need to get back on routine because nothing's going to get better until we do.
During this whole thing, is he yelling? Is he making you feel certain?
He yells sometimes, which is understandable. I know I mess up a lot, but most of the time it's either yelling or just really stern voice.
Okay. So when I'm Cassie and he is yelling at you, how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel bad.
Yeah.
I know I'm not making it easy on him.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel bad, but at the same time, I feel like he doesn't understand what I'm going through. I feel like he doesn't know how hard it is for me at school to deal with everything, homework and struggles, while still thinking about my dad.
Yeah. So, Sean, seeing that reflection of how you interact with Cassie, how do you feel about how you would handle that situation of her coming home late? Do you see places where you'd like to adjust how you react?
Probably almost ask her more in depth of why,
Okay.
instead of just being more stern about it. Which, from what she just said, it sounds like she's hearing me.
Yeah.
She clearly understands everything that I'm saying to her.
Yeah.
But it's more of me getting to the root of what we can do to change it, I guess, is what I'm kind of getting from that.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is you really want to take the time to say, why did you feel you needed to stay out past curfew? What were her motivations there?
Exactly.
Okay.
That's more the why
Okay.
and what I can do to help her.
Absolutely. So I think that's a great step, Sean, in terms of being introspective and really wanting to understand why she's doing what she's doing. And Cassie, for you, would you feel like that would be something you would share at that moment? Why you were staying out late?
Yeah.
Would you be receptive to really explain to him why you're doing
Yes.
Yeah. And on the other side, for him, would you be receptive to the fact that, maybe he's dealing with a lot of stress, he's losing his partner, all of that?
Yes, because I know it's bad for him too. I understand.
So I want you both to tell me one thing that you feel like you do really well together as a family. Something that either brings you joy or makes you smile or you have fun doing as a family.
We used to have a lot of fun when we go out to the movies.
Yeah.
We used to have a lot of fun. We haven't gone in a while.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons, but that was always fun. We used to have a family movie day.
Okay. So that was something that really made you feel connected.
Yes.
To your
I
dad.
miss that.
Okay. And Sean, is there anything you used to be able to do with Cassie that made you feel good?
Well, before, when I wasn't working as much, Cassie and I would actually have cleaning days, honestly, and those were the best days for me. We would just listen to music, we dance, and sing. It was just so fun.
Yeah.
And those were my best times because it was just me and her.
Yeah.
But we knew if my husband was coming home.
Yeah.
And now it's not. And I can't really have those days with her.
Because you're working so much. Yeah. So to me, it sounds like you guys have had this close relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've been close, you enjoy time together, and it's really just the adjustment of now you're missing, someone who's huge in your life. And how do you adjust to that person being gone?
Yes.
So I want to ask you, is there a way that as a takeaway from today's session, you make a commitment as one of your goals, as one of your tasks, that you plan one day a week where you either see a movie together, and just spend time with one another. I know it may be hard with work, but just kind of, not thinking about that. Or, a cleaning day, which may be helpful because, you have stuff to get done around the house. You know, as a time, can you both kind of dedicate yourself to making that happen?
Most definitely.
Yeah?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, so we'll leave the session here for today. But definitely take that time to think about, like you said, why she's doing what she's doing, not just being angry that she's doing it, right?
Yes.
And then you being understanding that your father's taking on a lot, and then helping each other reconnect with that task, okay?
Okay.
Perfect.
All right, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, so after that intervention, I'll just kind of summarize what I was doing there. I was working with a family system that was dealing with the loss of a loved one. His husband had passed away. He has one teenage daughter who he takes care of. And after his husband passed away, he was dealing with a lot of anger, a lot of frustration, and acting out. So she was definitely exhibiting issues of conduct disorder. She was skipping class. Her grades were dropping exponentially. She was staying out late, just disregarding rules. And she was making friends with really negative people and people who were involved in drugs and all of that. And so on the other side, he was dealing with issues of being a single parent now that his husband was gone, the trauma and sadness about losing his husband, as well as the frustrations of having to work more because he was now the only income earner and the breadwinner. And so all of that stress was definitely coding how he interacted with his daughter around the issues that she was having. And so within that space, I really wanted to get down to what was happening and why they felt it was happening. I wanted them to really be introspective about what they were both doing instead of blaming one person. I really wanted them to see what the other was going through. So, I tried to highlight the fact that, Sean, the father, was dealing with a lot of stress on his own, losing his partner, and helping Cassie, his daughter, to see that he too was going through those same feelings of loss and sadness, while also trying to make sure that he was able to provide for his family and make sure that Cassie was still taken care of. And I also wanted him to be very aware of what his daughter was going through in terms of her father figure being gone, her world kind of being disruptive, and not necessarily seeing her current behavior as something that can't be addressed or understood, but something that first needs to be understood and then can be altered. So what I did was really try to show that to each other, and then at the same time I wanted to do a role play so that they can kind of see how they interact with one another. And with that role play part, which is a big part of structural family therapy, I think that was a challenge for me because I haven't done a lot of role plays before. And so I definitely want to work more with people and myself on how to conduct really strong and helpful role plays that allow me to see the full picture of how people are interacting and allow them to see how they are perceived by the people in their family or in their lives so that they can get a better understanding of that and then gain the tools to better deal with situations when they have conversations about things like missing curfew, right? And so that was definitely a challenge for me in terms of putting together a good mock, situation and discussion. So something I want to do for sure. I think structural family therapy is really important in terms of changing the dynamic of the family and how they're interacting. And so what I did was goal setting and giving tasks is a huge piece of doing that therapy. And so I wanted to give them a goal and a task that they could do on their own at home that would then add to changing that structure. So I